Hey everyone, it's your girl SolieSims and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today we're doing a build for my 100-day creativity challenge. It's an ongoing thing on my channel. It is a home for Raymond Chandler, whose cast video I will be linking at the top of the screen. He is a adventurer sim, so he actually is a professor at Foxbury, but then he also does, it's a more of a part-time thing for him because his main thing is that he's an archaeologist. He likes to go exploring and just finding new things. Now currently he's in the process, along with a very select few others, of trying to find the Elixir of Eternal Life. And his last dig out in the Simhara led his clue next to rather his next clue popped up there, and it leads back to the jungles of Selvadorada. So he does have a timeshare that he owns with a couple of his colleagues. They're like just really good friends, so they often switch off. And for those of you who don't know what a timeshare is, basically that's it. You buy the villa, or whatever it is. In this case it is, the little rustic getaway in the jungle, along with some other person or persons, and you'll rotate the times that you use the space, or if it's a case where you're going to rent it out when you're not in residence, that is done as well. But for them, it's not the case that they're renting it out to anybody else. It's a case where they rotate who comes in to work or whatever. But it's also a vacation home. Now keep in mind that because his and his colleagues' professions is that of archaeology, etc. In the living room I did do a split space where, like, it's a living room space, but then there's also a an office space where they do, their filing, etc. They're cleaning up. I don't know exactly what the term is, but, like, where they would clean up their digs and just do a little bit of investigative work, etc. Now, because this place is out in the jungle, it doesn't have electricity really, so of its own, and the water system is not always reliable, etc. So they do have a generator, which I built like a little generator room downstairs, underneath the house rather. I built a little generator space for them. Now, for those of you who are gonna come for me because I didn't put railings, I remember a while back I did a house that was just a while back, and I decided to put an internal staircase, but I didn't put in railings. Some houses do have railings like that, rather don't have railings regardless of how long or tall the stairs are. It's just a case where you either have to walk in the middle or closer to the wall to just ensure that everything goes well. That's just how it is. Yeah, so some places that's just how it is. Anyway, so yeah, so I did strategically place some framings around the edges of the stairs, and that's it. That was it. That little back balcony gave me just a little bit of trouble. So again, because it is in a jungle setting, I did it a little bit lush. I tried to bring in some of the native plants, etc., into this space. I also gave them a little bit of a garden in the front, just like maybe 2 rows, I think, or 3 rows of gardens. I also gave them, well, I didn't give it to them, they just happened to have some chickens wandering about. I mean, they're pretty close to the temples, etc., a little bit away from the village, but not so far away that they won't get like chickens, etc., coming in. I tried to get it so that I could put a chicken coop just outside of the lot, but for the life of me, I couldn't figure it out. I'm not very savvy with the tool mod, but there's this little clearing in the back, like in the upper left corner of the, not the lot, but just to the back of the build, where there's this open space, and I was actually thinking of putting either a pond there or a chicken coop, which would explain why the chickens are there, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I also put in a Jeep for them, some, I guess, a little bit more of a rustic looking Jeep as well, so they can do their runs to the village if they have to, but I don't anticipate that they would be doing that very often. And I do think too that there is a guide that comes around and helps them, etc. Gosh, I was trying to figure out landscaping. It was just a little bit rough for me. Not landscaping, more like painting the terrain. Painting the terrain was a little bit difficult for me because I didn't want it to be as dark as it was. I kind of wanted it to match the tones with what's already there, so I had to play around with it a bit. So I had to lay a few different paints to make it look the way that I wanted it to look. Now for this build, I did not put in everything. I did not show everything that I was building with it. Like the bathroom, I don't think that I recorded the bathroom, and I did jump a few places, and then when I was done doing the bedrooms, etc., there were some clutter items that I went in and I put in myself. I did not take a picture of this downstairs area, and I apologize for that, but I anticipate that this is where they would be doing their laundry. Oh, and I changed that area around as well. I actually put in one of the grills downstairs, like the big pot ones. I think it was for Cinco de Mayo. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering this, but there was this thing that we got that was more of Hispanic origins, the grill. So I put that on the bottom, and I just switched things a little bit around downstairs. But basically it's pretty much the same space. It's just that I added a grill. Basically that's what I should have just gone with in the beginning and just left it at that. I did put in a breadfruit tree as well. Breadfruit tree is something that grows in my country as well. I'm from the Caribbean, for those of you who don't know. So I put in, I figured it's a tropical place, there would be breadfruit trees, so you can, so there's that as well. I imagine that Raymond and his friends are very much acclimated to this space, and I think too that they are very knowledgeable of the Selvadoranian, is that how it's said, culture. So they're very savvy with that, so they're familiar with it, and I think they've even made a couple of friends in the village. I imagine that most times after a successful dig, they would go out, or just like to cool out or just hang out and stuff, that they would go down to the village, visit the bar, and just get involved with their neighbors, and just let loose and just enjoy themselves, etc. That is what I imagine anyway. As you can see in the kitchen, I'm just playing a little bit around with the space, trying to make things work. I find for me that as long as I put in like dark tones in regards to the not the furniture really, but like the flooring and the walls, I always tend to put in fixtures and fittings, etc., furniture of a darker color as well, like as if it's so hard for me to just move away and try to brighten up the space, so it tends to look dark and everything. But like I said, they're used to it. They're used to having this rustic kind of space. Now back home in the city, where Raymond lives, he is very well off. He comes from a very wealthy family. He does have his own penthouse. He also has a home on the beach, which I'm currently working on. It's just a something else that I wanted to add. So he also has a little home. It's not a very big space on the beach. It's just his own little getaway, I guess you could say, on the beach. And so, but despite the fact of coming from wealth and coming from, having all the comforts in life, he is not opposed to roughing it when he has to, and it it does feel like they're roughing it to I guess more of the his other friends that just aren't as familiar with this kind of setup as yet. I mean, they're accustomed to their running water, and they're accustomed to regular electricity without that many bricks in between. But in the jungle now, they have to ensure that their there's always gasoline. And even the toilet, I put in the toilets from vampires that has the tank all the way in the top, and you have to like pull down the what you call that, the cord, so it will flush. So in my mind, in my mind, the way I did it like that was because the water is stored from a water tank. I didn't even put in a water tank, but it's stored from a water tank, and it slowly refills after every use. So it's not a case where, like, for example, in the middle of the night you want to go use the bathroom. I imagine that the toilet is only flushed after someone does a number two. So so for maybe as the day progresses, as long as you just go, take a piece or something, that I think maybe after every 3 pieces that the toilet would flush. I know it's weird to think about, but I guess they're trying to conserve the water that they do have. So that's one way of doing it. That's one way of doing it. Now, the space is a little bit small, it's a little bit cramped. I mean, the living room is literally that space, and that is it. Just the space that I'm decorating here. So there's just one sofa, side chair, and then a small television that probably plays black and white, and there's still the antenna. Oh my gosh, I remember those days of the antennas. So that probably showed my age there, but yes, so the days of the antennas and we used to call it rabbit ears. Did anybody else call that rabbit ears? On the television, you have to go twitch it around a bit to find like the correct frequency for the television to run properly. Anyway, I put one of those down in here. I did come in here after, because the walls were a little bit bare, so I put in some sculptures from the Island Living pack, I think, which worked well with Jungle Adventures. And I added some so I added that, and I added some wall hanging plants as well to that space. So just to tie everything in there just a little bit more. So this area now that I'm working on is the office the office slash workspace. So yeah, so I'm just going back and forth and just trying to get things organized. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with that space or how I was going to incorporate it, so I decided to work on the entryway in the meantime, whilst I come back to that. But whilst we're doing this, let me tell you just a little bit more about Raymond and his adventures, basically. So he is currently, like I said, when I left off in my cast video, he was still in Al Simhara. It's not a straight flight, so he does have to go home. Although he really anticipates wanting to come over here and start doing his work and stuff there, he cannot just pick up and go. He has to go apply for the correct documents, etc., to just ensure that when he does come in, everything goes smoothly and he's not hassled by the authorities. But he does have an ex whose name is Felicity, and they had a bit of a rocky relationship, and she does hold a little bit of bitterness towards him. She's also an archaeologist, and but she was kicked off the dig because of a lot of drama, and she just wasn't very professional. But she is a very good archaeologist nonetheless. So he does feel like she could come in and make a good addition to the team. But he's hesitant about it because of the mess that she carries with her. Like every time she goes somewhere, there's always some drama happening, and to that, the fact that she was part of the last dig that they worked on together, and he got all the fame, he got all the status, and he got all the oh my gosh, the not the popularity, I guess that falls under fame, etc., but the recognition for the work that was done. Although she was part of it initially, she did not see it to the end, but she does hold a little bit of a grudge against him because she feels that she did have an important role and it just wasn't recognized. So she has got caught wind that there is something going on there and that he has the next clue. So she wants to be part of it, and she wants to, try to salvage her name and just try to get involved. So you guys tell me, what do you think? I know it's not a sim that I actually play with, but I got invested in the story when I was telling it, and I just wanted to know, what do you guys think? Is it a case where Raymond would trust Felicity to pull through and do what it is that she has to do this time around and be the reliable person that is needed? Or will he try to blow her off and come and do his stuff on his own with his regular team that he has worked with and trusts and knows that they won't bring the drama. There won't be any cause for the dig to have to be stopped suddenly or anything of that sort. I don't know what he would do. He does kind of like her still, but he's also thinking of all the drama that she brought, and he's like, no, he doesn't want it. So I don't know, but I would love to know what you guys think about it. So yeah, I meant to add in a rug in the hallway, and then I didn't. I did not get a chance to do that, and I'm only in hindsight now. I've already uploaded this to the gallery. I've already done all of these other things, and as I'm doing this voiceover, I'm realizing that I completely forgot to lay a rug in the hallway. So you guys, if you want to download this, you can. I think I have it as jungle. I forget what I've named it. in the gallery, but I'll put it in the description box. But yeah, so basically that's the story of it. And when you go in the gallery, it looks like crap. Like the gallery picture is complete nonsense, but it is, to me, it's a nice build. It's just that the gallery picture is just a little bit off, just a little bit weird. There's nothing that I can do about it. I mean, I could, but then it would mark it as CC, and I didn't use any CC in this build. But yeah, I have been enjoying doing the 100-day creativity challenge. I have to spin for the next one. I'm so excited for it. But first, I do want to complete his vacation home, I think, which would be not a reflection of it, a slight reflection of him, but it's not as much as, say, his penthouse suite would, yeah. So yeah. So I would love to follow Raymond on his adventures and see how everything pans out for him. I put in 2 wardrobes in here, not because it's he just has so much clothes. It's because one is for like the whatever files and findings that he finds, anything archaeology related, he puts it in one of the wardrobes, and then he does have his wardrobe for his clothes, etc. Blah 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 blah. So we're approaching the screenshot. There is a small balcony of this bedroom that I did off camera as well with the bathroom. It's just what I did there in the small balcony was a chair, some plants, a slow table with like a couple of frog, and I think, did I add a bug? I don't think that I added the bug, but yeah, that's basically what's on the outside space. So here are the screenshots. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small, We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors.